Now that I'm 32 years old and another year has begun, I want to see just how close I can get my body to the ideal or golden ratio numbers while doing my entire workout from home. So in order to get the ideal male numbers, I went on Google and searched Grecian ideal male body measurements, and it spit out a few websites, and I went with the one from bodybuilding.com. All you have to do is enter your wrist size on the website and it spits out a bunch of numbers at you. From there, I decided to make my own tracking spreadsheet for all 12 months of the year to see how close I get in the end. Now, in order to track my body measurements over the year, I will be using a few pieces of equipment. The first one is the Renpho Bluetooth digital scale, and this one I've been using for years and years now. I may upgrade in the future, but this one works just well for what I need, as I'm really only going to be tracking body weight for this year using that device. Yes, it can track many other things, but for me in doing this little setup, I really only need body weight. Now with the scale, you also have an app you download to track your weight on, but it also allows you to track your measurements as well. So this is an app I will be using in order to track everything throughout the year, but I'll also have my spreadsheet as that's something I just personally like to track with. But in order to track my body measurements, I will be using the Renpho Bluetooth tape measure. This thing is pretty nice because you can basically set it up so the tape measure goes around whatever body part you are doing, and then there's a little button to retract it after you've clipped it in place so that you don't need a partner in order to help track it. It also tracks down to centimeters or even inches and can do in between the inches as well. So do like 3.2 inches or something like that. It can track pretty close to your actual measurements this way. So I'll basically track all those numbers with the device and I'll put it into the app automatically, and then I'm going to personally go take those numbers and put it in my spreadsheet to see how I do for each month throughout the year. So it is January 8th, 2022 as of shooting this video, and here are my first measurements. So as you can see, my neck is the furthest off from goal, and because of that, it is the one I'm focusing most on, but because I don't work it, I probably will be able to have some newbie gains here and get the fastest results out of anything else on this list. And I'll mainly be focusing on neck extension, flexion, and even rotation or really twisting of the neck as my main exercises. I am looking into the iron neck, which is the thing that's out there. I'm not really sure because it's so expensive I really want to get it. I may just use my dumbbell plates from my Core Fitness dumbbells in order to add more weight for those movements. Now outside of my neck, I do have a few other pieces I want to target, mainly being my arms and my forearms. So for the arms themselves, the biceps are actually pretty well developed. It's mainly the triceps I need to focus on building. And since they make up 2/3 of the arm, that's a big chunk I would like to get stronger. So that's going to be a big push for me to focus on that, while probably keeping my biceps about the same size. When it comes to forearms, I'm just going to be adding some wrist extension and flexion, and maybe even getting the Ivanko gripper in order to help build those forearms just a bit bigger. They're not too far off being at 3% compared to the 8 and 10% of the arms, but those are my goals. And everything else in the list isn't too far off, so I am still going to be focusing on getting most of those bigger and stronger, as they still are maybe like 1% or 2% off, but they're closer, so I hope that they just slowly build over time, while I'm really focusing on getting those other ones that are 8 and 10% off up to where they should be. But over the year, I do plan on putting a lot of updates to this on the YouTube community channel, maybe like monthly or quarterly, as well as potentially making some video updates as we go through the year to seeing how close I am to getting to my goal. Now, I'd love to see if my neck does develop really well, that becomes a video that I can help you guys with. Again, a lot of people struggle with smaller necks like myself. It is, again, probably my biggest insecurity when it comes to my overall physique right now, just how my neck size is compared to like my shoulder size. So that's really where I want to focus on a lot of my goals. But just know I hope I do make or have good results with my neck training so that I can pass it along to you and make sure that you do it in a safe way. So that is basically how I'm going to attack this year in trying to get my ideal physique at the age of 32. Pretty much past my muscle building prime, but we'll see what I can do in this year. But if you are someone just starting out, take a look at this video on screen, as it is the workout program I think everyone should really start out with, as it focuses on the big muscle builders right off the bat, and pretty much the foundational movements you really need to know before going anywhere else.